Hey guys, Ghazzy TV here with another Path of Exile video, and in this one I'm making this video due to popular demand of how you are supposed to make your Animate Guardian able to sustain the Guardian's Blessing support. Now before we dive into it, I do want to point out that there's links in the descriptions down below to guides for the guide hub that I have, but also in their Animate Guardian gearing guide, which covers all the details of the AG. So in this one, I'm not going to talk much more about the fact that I would recommend not using Animate Guardian until the gem itself is level 19. In my case, I have some plus for my gear, allowing it to be level 22, but 19 should be the bare minimum before you even consider using him. There's a range of different budgets. I also want to point out that the super low budget Animate Guardian are using things like Ambush Charge Crusader, Chainmail, Chest Piece, cost like an Alk or Chaos Orb, Dying Breath, Leer Cast. It's very beneficial to your minion army. And I would consider a medium budget state of the Animate Guardian to be the only time you would consider using the Guardian's Blessing. So in this video, I'm going to tackle a few things. It might be a little longer than you might expect, so I'm going to give you a little rundown of what's going to happen in this video. First things first, I'm going to talk about the different gear sets you can use for the Animate Guardian that will allow you to use Guardian's Blessing, but that's not everything. You need to have certain other things sorted as well, which I'll cover right after that. Then at the end of this video, I will show you how you can calculate and verify that the AG can sustain it. So we're going to start first things first. How do you make the Animate Guardian sustain I don't have a level 20, but it's 14.1%, I think it is, or 14.3% of its maximum life degenerated per second at all times. This is the Guardian's Blessing. I can enable it. As you can see, my Animate Guardian is not dead. He's out-regioning it without problems. So we're going to go through a couple of things. First things first, I'm going to import my actual character so you can see that what I'm using. And then I'm going to create a new set that I'm going to call AG. In the AG set, I'm going to give it certain gear pieces. So first things first, the most important piece to make this work is called Mask of the Stitch Demon. This is an upgraded helmet from Mask of the Spirit Drinker using a Vial of Summoning in the Alva Temple encounter to sacrifice that. That's how you get the Mask of the Stitch Demon. It's all self-found, or you can just buy it in trade. To further enhance this video, I'm going to show you how much it costs right now in the current state of the market, and that's about 100, a little less than a Divine. So again, a little more expensive. I'm going to put this piece onto the AG, and then I'm going to give him two different chest pieces. I prefer Gruthkul's Pelt because it gives him 10% regenerated max life per second. Now the thing is with this is that this tackles a large portion of the degen that the Guardian's Blessing is doing. We have to keep in mind that there's a couple other things to take into consideration, such as the option of using a Doppelganger. Doppelganger makes the Animate Guardian not go sane. He will always stay sane, which means he will always have the 30 to 40% physical and chaos damage taken reduced. Now, what's really important to point out here is that armor does not mitigate damage, physical dot damage taken, but generic physical damage mitigation modifiers does, such as this one. Also, things such as this little node right there and Indomitable Army itself would give another 23%. So you can mitigate quite a lot with Doppelganger. I still prefer Gruthkul's Pelt for a large variety of reasons. You want him to sustain outside of just being able to mitigate the damage, because Doppelganger will only give him extra regen when he's being hit, whereas Gruthkul's Pelt will give him consistent regen, and I prefer to just out-regen the degen so that when he stands in damage over time effects or taking damage, he will still regen a ton of damage. It doesn't require to be hit to get that extra regen from the Doppelganger. So that's why I prefer this. So those are the two most important pieces. I'm not even going to bother adding gloves or boots when I show you this, because you don't need those to be good or decent or anything like it. You can make them better, such as giving extra life, extra regen, energy shield, and whatnot. So why is this combination so good for the AG? Mask of the Stitch Demon makes it so that the wearer does have 0 energy shield. It also makes it so that the player, or in this case the AG, would regenerate 1% of life per second per 500 energy shield. So the max amount of energy shield he can have every 500 gives him 1% regen, but he'll have 0 energy shield. Gruthkul's Pelt gives you a ton of life and armor and evasion, but also 10% life regen. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to show you the calculation of the Animate Guardian, show minion stats, and equipping him with those pieces. With my current character, my AG is sitting at 41.5 thousand HP. He has a 5,000 almost life per second, as you can see from Gruthkul's Pelt, and he has 397 energy shield. This is incorrect, simply because of the fact that Fleshcrafter is not calculated. This is giving him 2% of their maximum life to maximum energy per 1% chaos resistance. Now, the Animate Guardian has a baseline of 20% chaos, which I can check in here through the calculation tab and enabling minion stats and see he has 20% chaos resistance. This means that 40% of his life is converted. So I'm going to bring up a calculator, and his current HP is actually 25,000. That might not sound as much, and it really isn't. That's why it's very important that we give him modifiers such as this, with maximum elemental rest and gear to sustain that. On the Guardian, that means you actually want to have something that gives minion resistances on a bone ring, for example. So this makes the calculation a little tricky. Let's put it this way. 40% of his life is converted. That's 41,557, or 57. 40% of that is 16,000 energy shield. Plus the current energy shield. Divided by 500. He's getting 34% of his life regenerated this way. He's going to out-sustain Mask of the Stitch Demon because I am wearing a Fleshcrafter. That's how you sustain it. Mask of the Stitch Demon, Growthcool, or Doppelganger, if you are wearing a Fleshcrafter. Quick note about the Fleshcrafter is, since 2% per 1% Chaos Res is converting his life to Energy Shield, means that if you give him too much Chaos Res, he will first off have like no HP and get one shot. If you give him 50% or more Chaos Res, he will immediately die. You cannot use that. That's very, very specific to the Fleshcrafter. So what do we do with builds that don't use Fleshcrafter? Since it doesn't work, I'm not going to change it here in the POB, but if he's not using Fleshcrafter, his current life would in fact be 41,577, and he would degen 5,945 HP. And as you can see, he's only regenerating 4,989, which means he would take 1,000 life per second and die within 41 seconds of being active with us. You don't want to do that, obviously. How do we fix this? Well, Mask of the Stitch Demon isn't doing anything because he only has 400 energy shield. So we fix this by speccing into Grave Intentions. This is the Witch starting area, and right here is Grave Intentions. These nodes gives him HP and Chaos Rest. Don't use this with Fleshcrafter. But this node gives him 20% of his max life as extra energy shield. So by speccing this, we can see that now he has 43,600 HP. But in this case, 43,593, he would take 6,200 life per second. But because he has Mask of Stitch Demon, and that node, he has over 9,000 energy shield, which is now giving him 13,000 life regenerated per second. So with this combination, all I have to do is wear Growthcool Spelt or Doppelganger, use my Mask of the Stitch Demon, and have Grave Intention node specced or anointed on the tree, unless I'm wearing Fleshcrafter. In the case of using Grave Intention and not Fleshcrafter, then you want to give him as much Chaos Rest as you can, which you can assort through gloves and boots on him to make him even tankier. Those are the two ways you can make Guardian's Blessing work on the Animate Guardian without killing him. Again, you want to verify these things in POB if you're uncertain of how this works. If you're confident, go for it. But you don't want to equip the stuff and then kill him. Another quick tip is that once you start this, you can have the ability ready and then check his HP. You can remove all your other minions if you want to be careful. Put him on a weapon if you really want to be careful. Start the aura. If he's degenning HP in your hideouts, you just weapon swap and desummon him. You can unequip the gem and he will be gone. And then to resummon him, you just literally click on the ground and hide it and he's back up. And that way you can save him from dying. You can also turn off the aura by doing this. That takes a little global cooldown, 1.2 seconds. So whichever you're more comfortable with to verify that he's actually not dying can be done in your hideout safe and sound without risking him dying. Just pay some attention when you're doing this and look at the POB. That's literally all I have for you. So I'm not going to prolong this video. Hit the like button, subscribe for more content, and I'll catch you guys in the next one. Till then, stay safe. Keep rocking.